Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video, I want to talk about the scripted college football game between the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks on October 8th, 2016. We'll also talk about the scripted game between the Cal Bears and the Oregon State Beavers on this same day. But before I get to it, I want to tell you a story about this research and what has happened over time. About 2 years ago, when I started making videos, someone who lives close to me found one of my videos and reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm in your area. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to meet you. I'm looking for like minded people who are into exposing the lies of this world." So I met this person. We went out for lunch and we've been buddies ever since. Anyhow, when I first started the research, this same person would routinely say to me, Zach, I think the one thing that maybe you're wrong about is saying sports are scripted by these numbers. I don't think they could do that. And he would bring up how he's a big Oregon Ducks fan and he doesn't think the games are scripted, and he has a family member that used to play on the Ducks and he tells him that the games were never scripted. Well, anyway, 2 years later, he now realizes the games are scripted by the numbers. He uses this knowledge and he makes predictions. And as an Oregon Ducks fan and ticket holder, he's now getting rid of his tickets because he doesn't want to support any of it. Prior to this game, he said, "Please watch this game for me. I know that the Ducks are going to get blown out at home by Washington tonight. I want to see just how scripted it is." So I said, "No problem. I'm watching the game for you. We'll document what happens." And while I did watch the game, I was busy with my girlfriend and other things were going on, so I wasn't the most focused. But I saw enough to explain how the game was perfectly scripted. If you are a University of Washington Husky, please spread this knowledge to your professors. You can outsmart them. You can show them why your school is called the Washington Huskies by the end of this video. There's a very specific reason you're called the Washington Huskies, and we're going to get to it. So notice the Ducks in their school history, they've won 13 bowl games. That's the big accomplishment in college football, to win a bowl game. The multiple championships that are offered every year in college football because there's so many teams. 13, when you add every number up to 13, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 13, it sums to 91. The outcome of both Oregon college football games on this date was 91 points. Oregon State won 47-44 over Cal, 91 points. Huskies blew out the Ducks 70-21 in their stadium, 91. So 91 has the 13 connection. 13 is a very important number to the history of this nation, which began with 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag. USA in gematria sums to 41. 41's the 13th prime number. Not a coincidence. When you write out 13 as a word, it sums to 99, and George Washington, which Washington University is named after, which Washington State is named after, he died in 1799 on a very specific date, which we'll get to. So 13, important. Washington in gematria sums to 49. Notice that Washington won by 49 points. Washington, the big way, sums to 130. Lose the 0 from the end, you're right back to 13. And the numerology of 49 is 4 plus 9 equals 13. You could take it a step further, 1 plus 3 equals 4. But what we're looking at are the 13s. So the game was Oregon, the 33rd state. George Washington was a master 33rd degree Mason. Oregon, the 33rd state. Washington, the 42nd state. Freemason equals 42. 33, 42, two of the most important numbers of Freemasonry. What else I'm going to show you in this video is why Nike is headquartered in Oregon. It's Nike that funds the Oregon football team, why they have the most expensive practice facility in the entire nation. George Washington was born in the time of the Julian calendar on the date February 22nd, as we recognize it on the Gregorian calendar. But in the Julian calendar, he was born February 11th, which is the 42nd day of the year. So in the calendar of his time, George Washington was born on the 42nd day of the year. Washington State named after him as the 42nd state. On the converting calendar, the Gregorian calendar, he's born February 22nd. Look at the gematria of Washington Huskies, 222. Just like George Washington's birthday, 2/22 or 22/2, no matter how you write it. Not a coincidence. Every university in this nation was established by Freemasons, and every university has been named accordingly using the practice of gematria, which is important to Freemasonry, and always has been since the beginning of this nation. This nation was established the same time English rolled out. English is based on gematria, this ancient knowledge credited to the Hebrew and Greek alphabets. And hidden knowledge that's not taught in any university, minus maybe some, Ivy League schools where only certain members within the secret societies connected to these ruling families. That might be the only place that gematria is taught in the entire nation. What is taught in college universities is mostly propaganda, socialization, lies. So many things that students learn that they pay all this money for are nothing more than lies. We live in a world of false knowledge where we have to pay for it, where we're taught it from birth to grave. And why is that? Because we're people who are to be ruled over. And if you don't realize that people are taught lies in college, look at what the medical programs are about. What do doctors really know in this world? They don't really know jack shit. They learn how to prescribe medicine. They learn how to do procedures that could be completely avoided if real medicine, if real health was taught. There's nothing about prevention in Western medicine. It's all about problem reaction, and that's because problem reaction generates profit. Teaching people sensible things such as how to properly eat, what foods are meant for human consumption, none of that's part of what you learn in college. You don't even learn about it in nutrition. I mean, most nutrition classes you're learning from the corporations who teach you the food pyramid. So anyway, if you're a college student and you're observing this, what I would honestly do is drop out of college, stop contributing your time and energy to these lies. Yeah, sure, you get the piece of paper, it'll open the doorway for some things. But still, most of these doorways are lies. Being a doctor in Western medicine, you're mostly doing a disservice. Most doctors, complete joke, they don't know shit about shit. Trust me, I know, I'm related to one. Doesn't know shit about shit. So anyway, we'll talk about George Washington's death and what it has to do with 42, but let's get back to the football game. Washington, they scored 21 points in the first quarter. In the second quarter, a combined 21 points. In the third quarter, they scored 21. Notice that they scored 21 in quarters 1 and 3. 1 and 3 kind of like 13. We talked about the difference of 49. We talked about the total sum of 91. Let me show you what's up with these 21 tributes right here. There's a reason 21. When you write out 21 as a word, it sums to 42. Again, Washington's the 42nd state. They won big in this game. Freemason 42, Architect 42. The Freemasons are builders. Architect 42, Building 42. The Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of history. History 42. All of our history is contrived bullshit by the numbers. So many people off at university paying to learn history when all they're learning is straight up bullshit. Knowledge 42. The Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. Freemasons do everything by the numbers. Math 42. Big G in the middle of the Freemason compass and square represents 42. Big G also represents 33, and here we're talking about a game between the 33rd state and the 42nd state. In Francis Bacon gematria, lowercase a through lowercase z is 1 through 26. Z is the 26th letter. Uppercase a through uppercase z is 27 through 52. Big G is 33. 33, the number of Freemason obsession. G connecting to 33 and 42. Trademarks of the Freemasons. George Washington, born in February, the only month that sums to 42. Washington came into this game ranked 5 in the nation. Only 5 and 9 when written out. The single-digit numbers have gematria of 42. If anything is a coincidence here, that's the only thing. But probably not, based on them coming in with that rank into this game where it was all about Washington and 42. The date George Washington died, December 14th, 1799. Remember how 99 connects to 13. date with 142 numerology. When you write out 42, it sums to 142. How fitting that the 33rd degree Master Mason, George Washington, who has the 42nd state named after him, died by this number. And let's not forget that Washington State was cut from Oregon, which originally was the 33rd state. Oregon used to be a massive territory broken up into other states. Again, Washington won by 49 points. Some 33 gematria for you. Masonry, secrecy, order. Oregon, the 33rd state. OR 33. I think 2016, the reason Oregon's having such a rough year, I think they're doing what I call falling on their number. There's only two numbers when written out that sum to 33. It's 16 and 90. 1633. Oregon having a rough year in 16. Another important number to the Freemasons is 74. Oregon is the only state that sums to 74. Masonic 74, Occult 74, Jewish 74, Jesus 74, Cross 74, Messiah 74, Gospel equals 74. They say Jesus crucified on the cross at age 33. Check out your periodic table. 33rd element, arsenic. Arsenic equals 33, atomic weight is 74. Check out your hurricane scale. Qualifying wind speeds for a hurricane, 33 meters per second, 74 miles per hour. This pairing of 33 and 74, it's been included in geography, science, spirituality. It's because the Freemasons have built a box of lies around us by the numbers. They own and operate us. They control us from cradle to grave. They stamp us with a number from birth. They tell us what to do, what to believe. Tell us a whole bunch of lies. Here we are in a nation where we call ourselves free. We've never been free from day one. We've been enslaved from the beginning, enslaved to lies by the numbers. See my video on Christopher Columbus Day, which I just put out. Making this video here on Christopher Columbus Day, a man known for starting a genocide. George Washington, a man known for helping carry out the genocide. All the faces on Mount Rushmore are the faces of the native genocide. Sick country we live in, here in the evil empire, where no one realizes what's really going on because their whole lives have been wasted and they're all in a trance watching rigged sports, movies with poor morals. With regards to George Washington, he celebrated the first Thanksgiving exactly 74 years before Abraham Lincoln made it an annual holiday. Holiday 74, Independence Day 74. Think about the 4th of July, 7-4. I was looking at their all-time meetings. They've now played each other 109 times. 109 is the 29th prime. Football equals 29. Huskies equals 29. The Huskies won big in the 109th meeting. This game was played on 10-8, and they came in having played each other 108 times. Geometry equals 108. Doing things by the numbers. Notice the first time they ever played each other, they played on 12/1, kind of like 121. Washington State established 11-11. 11 times 11, 121. The worst victory ever for Oregon, they lost 66-0 in 74. You could say that year they fell on their number as well. Oregon 74 got blown out 66-0. Here's what else is interesting. Oregon has all these Freemason trademarks on it. Ducks equals 58, calendar 58, Gregorian 58, secret society 58, Freemasonry 58. This is why the school is named the Ducks, Nation of Freemasons. United States with the S exceptions equals 58. Washington with the S exception equals 58. Washington cleaned up the Ducks by the numbers. Oregon, their football team came into power because of Phil Knight and Nike, the mega corporation that's headquartered in Oregon. Phil Knight's an Oregon native. He went to Cleveland High School in Portland. Portland's area code's 503. 503 is the 96th prime number. Freemason equals 96 the big way, 42 the small way. All the divisors of 42, the numbers that divide into it, when added together, sum to 96. Anyway, Knight for Phil Knight equals 33, just like Cleveland in the 33rd state. Notice Phil Knight was born in February, like George Washington himself. From the game to his upcoming birthday is 139 days. Freemasonry, the big way, is 139. Phil Knight, the Masonic man, from his last birthday to the game, 227 days. The number having to do with cycles and circles and pi. When you write out 22 divided by 7, it sums to 314, just like when you divide 22 by 7, you get the number 4 pi. Phil Knight having to pay dues by the numbers on this night. Washington Huskies, the small way, also sums to 78, like Phil Knight's current age. Possibly part of the ritual. So get this. Phil Knight, head of Nike, so we're told. Here's why Nike is in Oregon. Oregon was established February 14th, 1859. A date with 93 numerology. 93 is the number for Saturn, the keeper of time. If you go to school and you pay money to learn your bullshit science, they'll tell you the sun is 93 million miles away. The sun is the real keeper of time. To the occult, Saturn is the keeper of time. They tell us the sun's 93 million miles away, which is an obvious lie. Just use your own eyes. Your eyes could never see anything 93 million miles away. For those of you who live in Oregon, you can hardly see the mountains from the city. And they're not even that far away, right? But they want to tell you that you can see things 93 million miles away. It's because this whole world is based on a bunch of lies. The date Oregon established, 93 numerology, Saturn equals 93. This year we celebrated Galactic Tick Day, this new holiday, supposedly about the sun's journey through the Milky Way. The sun 93 million miles away. They celebrated that on September 29th, the day leaving 93 days left in the year. Not by coincidence. 93, an important number to the occult. Oregon, the 33rd state, established on this date. Let's not forget that on September 11th, they said Flight 93 had 33 passengers. The sun equals 33. Think about the coding of Oregon State syncing up with Jesus on the cross. The Son, God's one and only Son. It's not hard to see if you just think, people, what's been done to us. Saturn 93. Nike's symbol is a swoosh, a ring of Saturn. That's what it's supposed to be. Nike 39, the reflection of 93. Duck, singular, 39. There was a time when Nike didn't sponsor every athletic uniform in the world like they now do. There was a time when one of the few teams that had the Nike sponsorship was Oregon. Of course, that makes sense. They're from the state, right? But look, Duck, Nike, Saturn, Oregon's date of establishment. See how it all comes together? It's not a coincidence that Nike's headquartered in Oregon. The Masons do everything by the numbers. Nike is one of the most important companies that this gang owns. This game, it also came on a date with 54 numerology. The word sun equals 54. September 29th was a date with 54 numerology. The date about the sun, the new scientific holiday celebrating the journey of the sun. As for Washington State, the way it begins in Pythagorean gematria, that 511 sequence, that very well could be a tribute to Saturn, and perhaps that's part of the reason Washington, Oregon was the Saturn ritual by the numbers. Also, the symbol known as Jesus on the cross, it's called the crucifix. We talked about Jesus' cross in Oregon. Crucifix, also 93. Oregon has the 93 establishment date. And then just to remind you how it's all rigged, they had to do this with the other Oregon game. Also 91 points. The Oregon team wins with 47. The reflection is 74. 47 and 74, the number's so important to the Freemasons. The Ducks got beat by the team from Seattle on the 47th parallel. Huskies in gematria sums to 29, and with the S exceptions, 47. 47, Seattle Huskies on the 47th parallel. The Space Needle has a rotating restaurant that does a full rotation every 47 minutes. Look at these words with 47 gematria. Time, gavel, judge, obey, authority, framework, foundation. Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem. And what else they have is the entire nation captivated in their lies. We got to wake up, people. It's a joke out here. For all you college students, I expect you to take this knowledge to your professors. I expect you to show it to them. When they tell you it's a coincidence, when they tell you it's nonsense, that's when you can know for sure that your teacher's a fucking moron. And I know as a teacher, as a well-educated person, as someone who could be teaching college courses because I have the degree for it, I know that the majority of people in teaching are fucking retarded. College professors, fucking retarded. High school teachers, fucking retarded. Middle school, elementary school. The reason you have so many fucking retards teaching you is because if they weren't fucking retarded, they'd see through all the lies. Instead, just watch. You college students, you take this work to your professors, they're going to tell you it's a coincidence. They're going to tell you it's nonsense. It's because they're fucking retarded. And that's why they're teaching you. Because they're trying to get you to be fucking retards like them. That's how the Freemasons rule over us. That's why they teach us lies. That's why they dumb us down chemically with poison in food, poisonous programming through their media. It's all about keeping you stupid. And a good way to have you maintain being stupid is by having stupid people teach you your whole life. There's a reason I'm teaching on the internet and not in classrooms. It's because classrooms are owned and operated. You have to follow the curriculum. You have to follow the bullshit. The reason they pay teachers so little is so that it attracts poor talent. People who are fools. And I'm up here in Seattle. You know, anyone at university campus, any University of Washington professor who sees this, who maybe has a brain, maybe you should invite me to come speak to your classroom. We got to start waking people up. Let's take it back in Seattle, huh? Let's start here. It's probably not going to happen, though, because most of this information, it just falls on deaf ears. It falls on the sheeple. The sheeple who maybe at one point in history were people. Until next time, true Encore. I just thought I would check from the date of the game to George Washington's upcoming birthday anniversary. It's 137 days, and the reason that's comical is because 137 is the 33rd prime number. Washington, D.C., the federal headquarters named after George Washington, equals 137, federal 33. Again, if you are a student, take this knowledge, empower your life, drop out of college. All you're paying for is bullshit and lies. You can get more truth, more power, more information from my YouTube channel than you could get 20 years in a college classroom wasting your money. This channel's free. This is the truth. This is the knowledge to unlock us. You college professors watching this, you better just stop the topic you're teaching and start teaching the truth. Because people need to see what kind of nation we live in. It's bullshit and lies by the numbers every day by the Freemasons who rule over us. Until next time.